Who the heck is Pep Talks?
I'm not gay, but I fantasize about Marco Rubio. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Let's eradicate the Kung Flu. I'm literally coming. Pep Talks. Pep Talks.
Who the heck is Pep Talk?
They want our women. They want our children.
Pep Talks.
Sometimes no means yes. Grab them by the
Pep Talk.
Grab them by the Marco Rubio. Obama is a racist.
Pep Talks.
I'm literally coming. I'm
Pep
literally coming.
Pep Talks.
We found weapons of mass
Pep Talks.
destruction. My fellow Americans, it has been confirmed today from Pep Talks that we are indeed all high on politics.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a new edition of Pepaganda and a new week of This Space. Appreciate you all being here and supporting this space because you know what? I love this project. I've been talking about this a little bit on my own stream, and I just have to say, we have a really, really good thing here. And I hope that you guys have been enjoying the programming. So, I just want to say, we got some irons in the fire, as they would say. So just stay tuned, folks. We got some fun stuff and some fun changes that are going to be happening, where it's more content, more live content, and in general just more collaborative content. So this is gonna be awesome. You know what? And I just want to say a special thank you to all the other creators on this space. Thank you for, putting your stuff out there. All the syndicated people, I appreciate you guys too. I seriously, thank you for allowing this space to get out there, because I'm waxing poetic, because I really do feel like this is something that is not only needed, but it has the opportunity to be exactly what we have always envisioned it to be, because there is a major appetite out there for this. The fact that we have so many people that just tell it like it is, and I know that can get annoying when you have people just be like, "Oh, these creators, they tell it like it is." It almost, I hope it doesn't lose its power, because realistically, that's one of the best things that we have here, is just the no BS approach to news. And also just in general, everything realistically. And that we have shows that, you learn some things, that's also where I have to say the mix of creators that we have here it's awesome. So continue to support us, and just look out in the future here for some fun stuff coming up. So real quick, want to say hello to some of our watchers here, or watchers. Yes, like the Marvel watcher. That's how I feel sometimes, where it's just one almighty watcher. Isn't that what? Yeah, it's technically God, right? It's just a big bald baby looking dude that's just like the multiverse. But how are you guys? Welcome in. Jet, how you doing? Johnny, how you doing? Pinkerbell, how you doing? ThinkVid, how you doing? Good to see you. And Etch. There, I was about to say, we're missing an Etch. And also Ken, how you doing? It's good to see you folks. You guys know what's up. Hit that like button as you file in here. Double tap the screen as we were on vertical there. Whoops. Wait, does that work? No, it doesn't work if you double tap the screen. You have to actually hit the little thumbs up. So let's do that. Also, do your thing. Where you subscribe to the channel if you have not done that. And I'm sorry to admit some disappointment if that's the case, but you don't want to disappoint Pep. Come on, guys. Also, if you guys could do me the solid and follow me over on @Pep Talks TV on YouTube and Twitch. I really appreciate all the support, and in general, I have a little bit of a different flow over there. Like yesterday, was gonna do a shorter show, 8 hours. 8 hours later, we're wrapping up. So thank you for everybody that was hanging last night. I had a good time. If you double tap on horizontal, just pauses the video. Well, You know what? I apologize for anybody that I just told to pause the video. Let's not do that. Yeah, and just like I was saying earlier, thank you for supporting this space. So today we got some news. We'll cover some news, but I just kind of want to hang for a little bit. Do like a little micro version of my show that you guys, like I said, can catch over on Pep Talks TV. Um, yeah, guys, like I've been doing like a lot more chilling. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but yeah, the news is a little crazy. It's a little crazy. Um, so I've been decompressing by just kind of rambling to you guys, and yesterday was a perfect example of that. 3 hours. It was like a 3 hour pep rant. Um, and it was just about like awesome, fun stuff. And oh, hey, who's that? Who's that? That's me. That's my logo. Hey, that's cool. Look at that. Yeah, I didn't know that we were doing that. I love it. All right, Pep approved. It was so effing good though. Yeah, thank you, Etch. I appreciate that, man. I thought I felt the vibe. I liked it. I liked it. Dare I say? It was kind of funny. I did the thing that I have talked about where I kind of felt like because I like we did have like a back and forth, so I'm like I have to go revisit that and see where I went wrong. Um, yeah, I could see where you guys you guys were definitely onto something. So yeah, you got to watch a Pep learns moment. And I'm more than happy to admit that, yeah, my view on that specific thing has evolved. And if you are interested in seeing what I'm talking about, check out the VOD from yesterday. Yeah, I know that that's a big ask because checking out an 8 hour VOD, wow, that's like a big task in itself. But I do, I kind of like revisited this. I kind of took it as a backhanded compliment, but at the same time, I don't think that's how it was meant in the slightest. So somebody had told me that they had just taken a flight to Europe. And then they were like, your show, your one show got me to Europe, like on the plane. And I was just like, oh, oh, yeah, yeah. I literally do like the length of a flight to to Europe. That's kind of crazy. Timestamps, people, timestamps. Yes, guys, got to work on timestamps in real time. Yeah, so somebody gave me like a game clock where it's like for speed runs. So it marks the timestamps that your speed run ends at, right? And they were telling me that I could use like multiple ones, obviously, and I should be doing that where it's just like boom, 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 boom. But I'm also me. Yeah. Mike Figueredo does it during Leftist Mob. Oh, really? Okay, so he does timestamp that. All right, then that means I'm just gonna have to. I gotta get better about this, guys. I have got to get better about this because I have got to get my content out there in shorter form. I meant to sit there and edit pretty much all weekend, but yeah, this pesky thing called life and having other responsibilities is just like, oh, kind of takes away from my ability to do what I really want to do, and that's edit videos and content for you fine folks so you guys can share it with your friends, get it out there, and yeah, kind of grow this entire community. You also need downtime. Yeah, no, I know, but we kind of covered that at the beginning of the show yesterday. I can't have too much downtime, otherwise I start spiraling. um yeah, if you guys don't know, like I'm an open book. I really am. I have this policy, we'll call it the pep policy, that life is too short to not speak your mind, and also just not let like what am I hiding? What there's obviously there's certain things that I'm private with, but realistically, if people are curious, then fuck it. Like I will put it out there. And that's I do that specifically, and I'm talking specifically like emotional stuff. I've talked in depth about my mom's death. I've talked in depth about my papacy. It doesn't work. But I've also talked a lot about the journey of my wife's with my wife's cancer here. Because it's a lot. And you know what? I recognize that a lot of people there, you guys are going through your own stuff, and if it helps at all, just to hear somebody else talk about like the what's going on in their life, then I kind of hope that I'm helping at least even one person. Like that's kind of yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Um, and I'll be honest, guys, like this community that we have on this space and also on over on my show, you guys like it has a major impact on me where it don't think that I'm not getting anything from it because I am. I take away like everything that you guys share with me. It does help. Like I was kind of going and saying yeah, hearing that we're all kind of going through it, it kind of makes me feel like I don't like this. I don't want to say like misery loves company. Like so, I'm kind of stammering on this, but it is nice just knowing that it's like, oh, we're we're in a similar position. Okay, cool. There's this weird like dome of understanding. There we go. I could have put that better, but realistically, I just want to say I appreciate y'all. Also appreciate the hardworking man behind the curtain here. Everybody give a shout out to our producer on this space. Without him, this would be a rudderless boat, and we know how that goes. You just kind of float all over the place, and then you could sink. You could totally sink. So, yes, thank you for steering the rudder there, man. Always appreciate you. A memorandum of of understanding. Dude, I'm gonna just add that to the lexicon of things that I say to my wife, where it's just like, okay, so in order to end this argument, I'm gonna require you to sign this memorandum, this memorandum of understanding, and we're gonna need at least 60 minutes of peacetime. And then it's like, well, you did. Hey, I thought we had a ceasefire. What's going on here? That's one hell of a way to handle an argument with your significant other. It's like I require a ceasefire. We it worked for Trump. Come on. Oh God. Yeah, you know what's funny? Yeah, see me do that and see how effective it is. All of a sudden, I just get a book to the face or something. Wow. No, that happens. Honestly, my yeah. In reality. All arguments. Sorry, guys. I just had a glitch. Frozen. Nope. Okay, cool. If you guys had a hiccup on your end, that's because I just was informed that I had a minor internet hiccup. I hope it didn't affect anything. No, I'm still live. Okay, cool. That scared me a little bit. Anyway, foreign policy at home. Yeah. Wait a minute. So does that mean if you have a fight in the mall, then that's technically foreign policy abroad? Nothing glitching here? Okay, cool. Then that means that my delay actually worked. Cool. That's always nice. All right, look at that. Fiber coming in clutch for once. I've been having issues with my internet pretty much since I got it, and you know what? It's been a lot better. I will give them credit. I've noticed. You know what? Now that I think about it. All right. Well, you guys kind of come here for news, right? I would think so, but this is also the thing. There's like I have to acknowledge that we all watch very similar stuff, right? So this is why I'll just go into it. This is why I've been talking a little bit more. My show's called Pep Talks. I mean, or my show, actually, I'm called Pep Talks. That's a weird thing, by the way. Somebody even pointed that out there. Like, why didn't you just name the show, Pep Talks? I'm like, I don't know, because I brainstormed high on politics. It was fun. But yeah, I've been talking a lot more, and I don't know, trying to make it more personality based. because we've been discussing this pretty openly, do I always want to talk politics? Not necessarily. I did kind of pigeonhole myself into that. But like I was saying, like we all talk, like we all watch a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, the show is hot. Yeah, it's funny because anytime that I have to save my stuff, like whether it be a thumbnail, that's how I have to put it in. It's just HOP and then just like the date. Yeah. Actually, you just kind of remind me I have to download all my stuff just in case. This goes for all my fellow creators on this space and anybody that's trying to do YouTube. Make sure that you periodically go download your library. That's a good idea, just in case. You never know. I'm very much in that you never know camp. And honestly, I think that would be devastating to lose hours and hours of content all because you were procrastinating. I'm literally looking right at me in my camera thing, and I'm just you. Meta moment there. It's like how Leonard Skinner is the band, not the person. Yeah. Wait, there's a few of those, like Hootie and the Blowfish. Yeah, everybody calls him Hootie, which he kind of did it to himself. Oh man. Also, Darius Rucker is kind of a disappointing person. Like he's apparently like a big Trumper kind of guy, or was. I don't know where he stands now. I know that this was during like the first administration. So alrighty, let's pull this up. Because I do actually want to like break some news here, and Democracy Now! Had God, it was almost like a PBS NewsHour approach to doing the news today. It was very nostalgic. Also, can I just say PBS NewsHour is not what it used to be. They tried to make it more mainstream. They got the double desk now. It looks like that. It actually reminds me of like the way that they used to present the news in RoboCop. Yeah. That's why when he started his country arc, everybody was like, "Wait, Hootie has a real name?" Yep. And that it's like, "Oh, ain't that a bitch?" But then you have like the other side of that where it's like Bon Jovi, and you're like, "Wait, you named the band after one guy, but you guys are actually a band?" That's kind of wild. I don't know. I'm not gonna pontificate on this too much longer because, like I was just saying, Democracy Now! Has a really good news update. Come on, what is going on here, man? Okay, yeah, I definitely had something happen. I hope I don't have to reload this. That would be bad. We do it live here, folks. I like how Alex also does the same thing. I noticed that. Bill O'Reilly, that dude, you want to talk about a moment that just like crossed over, and I hope everybody does that. Like, I hope that you're just like, if you code at your job and you're having a moment where you're like, we have to reset the whole network. Fuck it, we'll do it live. At least I would do that. I would totally do that. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just reset this. Give me a second. 1 second. 1 second. Just hold on. There we go. We got it back. All right. Sorry, yeah. So what was going on is the screen completely froze, and every time I tried to bring it on to the show, it would just show like a black screen on my end. All righty. Let's get to some news, and then we will comment on it, because this is what news commentary is all about.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org.
And I hate that this audio ducking is a real thing. If you guys are experiencing that, I will try to back off the mic and equalize this in real time.
The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're broadcasting from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Vice President J.D. Vance says the Trump administration plans to release the full text of its Memorandum of Understanding to end the war with Iran this week, as details of the agreement with Tehran remain a secret. On Monday, Vance disputed a report by an Iranian state-run news agency that the memo would see billions of dollars in Iranian assets unfrozen.
I mean, if it's true and it's like $300 billion or like $30 billion, no, was it? I think it was 300.
Mandating
If it's 300 billion, then what are we doing?
that the U.S. pay around $300 billion.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God. Do you understand how absurd that number is?
Dollars for reconstruction costs. That said, the reparations would instead be paid by neighboring Gulf states. This comes as the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu
Don't you start with me. Don't you do this.
pledged not to abide by the latest ceasefire agreement between the U.S. and Iran. On Monday,
Speed it up
Netanyahu
just a
made his
little bit.
first public
Sorry,
remarks
guys.
since Trump announced the deal over the weekend. The Israeli leader said he had no intention of withdrawing his forces from southern Lebanon.
It's the mic?
For decades, I've been fighting Iran's efforts to acquire nuclear weapons. I can define this as my life's mission. I have upheld it till now, and I will uphold it in the future as well.
Earlier today, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi warned Iran will consider it a direct violation of the interim agreement with the United States unless Israel halts all attacks.
Yep. So they're literally putting the ball in Israel's court, and they're like, this is Iran being very smart with the way that Trump is, because Trump wants this peace deal more than anything right now. And if Israel does actually fuck about, they could, ironically, that's where Donald Trump could be like, no more money for you.
Draws from occupied Lebanese territory.
Which would be wild.
We'll have more on Iran after headlines with Trita Parsi of the Quincy Institute for Responsible Statecraft in Gaza.
Bibi loves war. The thing is, he thinks he needs it to stay in power.
Palestinian health officials say Israeli strikes and gunfire killed at least
So
4
obvious.
Palestinians Monday. Among the dead, Palestinian paramedic Mohammed El Habil. He worked at Al Shifa Hospital. His father says Al Habil was filling water containers on a rooftop with his son Musa when the two were blown up in an Israeli airstrike.
Arm jail.
He was on the rooftop with his son. Why did they target him? He hadn't done anything wrong. They targeted him because he is a doctor who works at Al Shifa Hospital. They knew he is a doctor, and they targeted him.
In the occupied West Bank, Palestinians in the village of Burqa say Israeli settlers tried to burn down a mosque with dozens of people inside during religious services Sunday evening. That followed a separate arson attack in the nearby town of Deir Dibwan, where Israeli settlers reportedly set fire to 2 vehicles and damaged several others. This is Yassir Rashid, a 92-year-old Palestinian-American resident of Deir Dibwan who narrowly avoided being burned alive.
I looked out the window and leaned forward. Suddenly, a person with a gasoline canister sprayed it in my eyes and on my clothes and lit the fire. The window caught on fire, but I stepped back and it did not get to me, thank God.
A Palestinian-American 20-year-old woman has been imprisoned by Israel for about 2 weeks. On June 2nd, Israeli soldiers broke down the door of Sana Safi's family home in the occupied West Bank and took her in the middle of the night. Safi is a psychology student at Birzeit University in the occupied West Bank. The Guardian reports at least 3 other students at Birzeit have also been detained, including a member of the Palestinian women's national soccer team. Safi's family's raised concerns, saying she has a chronic medical condition that needs treatment. Several U.S. lawmakers, including Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen, have demanded Safi's release.
Good.
In Russia, the Moscow oil refinery.
Yeah. Okay. So, by the way, I'm not sure if you guys had the same thing happen. This morning when I looked at my For You feed on my phone, it was nothing but Ukraine this, Russia that, and I was just like, I know it's like the G7, but it seems like they are pivoting hard now to that.
Erupted in flames today following a long-range Ukrainian drone attack.
It's like the news is kind of doing the thing like, oh, okay, so the war's over, but don't forget, you need to watch us daily.
Targeting energy infrastructure. The refinery normally provides nearly half of fuel supplied to Russia's capital city. The attack followed deadly Russian strikes across Ukraine over the weekend and came one day after Ukraine officially began negotiations in Luxembourg to join the European Union, a years-long process that will require Kyiv to commit to political reforms. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has joined leaders of the U.S. and its allies for closed-door meetings on Russia's war in Ukraine as the G7 holds its annual summit in the French town of Evian-les-Bains. President Trump.
All right. So is this why the United States is getting involved and they're just like now Trump is kind of backing Ukraine again?
Trump arrived at the talks Monday. Also on the agenda, trade tensions.
Did you see him fucking navigate that first step?
And the U.S. and Israeli wars on Iran and Lebanon. In Pennsylvania, the Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office has ruled Haitian asylum seeker Daffy Michel's death a homicide. after she was found lying cold and unresponsive at a Pittsburgh bus stop where ICE had left her days
Jesus fucking Christ.
earlier. A statement released by the Allegheny County Medical Examiner read, quote, "The opinion of the forensic pathologist in this case is that Ms. Michel was a vulnerable adult suffering from untreated severe mental health issues and a significant language barrier when she was released from federal custody February 27th, unquote." Immigration attorney Joseph Patrick Murphy represents Michelle's family. He spoke with CBS Pittsburgh.
She had mental challenges. This she was arrested for at one point screaming at imaginary people, and they knew this. They just dumped her in a bus shelter, language barrier, educational barrier, and psychiatric barrier, and left her to fend for herself. The bus shelter, she never figured out how to leave. She sat there for days and ultimately froze to death.
An immigrant from Belize and leading organizer of an ongoing hunger strike at the Adelanto ICE jail in California has reportedly been deported. The Immigrant Defenders Law Center says Kayan Shaquille Swazo was transferred to various detention facilities in Texas and Louisiana.
Just remember that there's enough money with like all the ruling class that could take care of all this and they could still live their opulent lives.
Without notice.
I mean, shit. I think it's like 10% of Elon Musk's wealth could take care of the entire deficit of our country.
Before being deported in what advocates believe is retaliation for his organizing. His deportation came just days after Swazo spoke out about inhumane conditions at Adelanto with members of Congress and his legal team. The Adelanto ICE jail is operated by the for-profit private prison company Geo Group, which also runs the Delaney Hall ICE jail in Newark, New Jersey, where a labor and hunger strike led by detained immigrants reportedly continues after nearly a month. In Indiana, over 150 people gathered outside the Clay County Jail for an interfaith vigil demanding the release of Salah Sarsour, the president of the Islamic Society of Milwaukee, a revered Palestinian community leader. Sarsour has been held at the jail for over 2 months. The vigil Sunday was attended by Jewish community members, Muslim leaders, and members of Sarsour's family, including his eldest son, Kareem. This is Rachel.
It was funny because he tried to pull that cute shit on the way up because I grabbed him and he started licking me like, I'm sorry.
Writer, organizer, and historian at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Since they kidnapped him on March 30th, Salah has been in that detention center in the Clay County Jail. He has been denied his medical and religious rights. Salah is a type 2 diabetic. He needs to test his blood every day. They let him test monthly at best. He has lost 30 pounds in detention.
Jesus.
He's very ill.
30 pounds? Guys, like...
He has asked for a prayer rug and had it taken away. When he asked for a Quran, he was offered a Bible.
You know what's wild? The stories that you hear, so in my locality, right, we got this Trump store lady. You like my regular viewers, they know the whole deal with this. So I'll just kind of give you like the synopsis that Trump store lady is a problem, and she's obviously not mentally well. I'll just say it that way. But she's also just one of the dumbest human beings I've ever fucking seen because she has 24 moving violations and she has had multiple multiple suspensions on her license. But this is what really bugs me is that they constantly just let her go. And then they'll just be like, nah, pay this fine, blah, blah, blah. And this kind of shit where this guy's being held for, again, a civil infraction in being here illegally, it kind of makes you think about this a little bit differently. But then recently, Lisa, the Trump store owner, Karen, you guys can call her Karen too. So she ended up getting arrested finally because we do have one county that just doesn't play. And I don't think she knows anybody in this neighboring county that she got busted in. So thank God she's dumb enough to, drive there. Because realistically, I don't think she would have been busted otherwise. And she also missed a court date. So they held her. They denied her release and they held her overnight. And just in that overnight stay, she acted like she was abused, that she was denied her religious service, that she was also denied vegan-friendly food. She understands exactly what it means to have this type of treatment, but she loves this. She supports this full-throatedly. So honestly, when I think about that, it really does kind of make me think like, oh yeah, you know, those Law and Order types. It's exactly like I've been saying this, where DUI checkpoints. These are the same assholes that talk about how they're losing their freedoms with a DUI checkpoint because they are obviously drinking and driving.
When he's asked for healthy food, they have offered him pork rinds.
Point being, shitty white people be shitty white people, and they can actually recognize like, oh, this is mistreatment. Maybe we should probably maybe just maybe we should care about that.
Which is just cruelty in action.
Why don't they? Because they're brown people. That's why.
Yes.
Oh, so you mean that it's as simple as they are racist? Yes.
Officials last year.
But these are the same assholes that are like, I don't have a hateful bone in my body. I just want people to follow the law.
Whether to suspend habeas corpus rights for immigrants and asylum seekers as President Trump looked for ways to bypass judges in deportation cases.
He was going to suspend the Constitution, guys. That's a huge fucking story.
That's according to the New York Times, which reports White House Staff Secretary Will Scharf wrote a secret memo to Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff, outlining his opposition to a plan by senior Trump advisor Stephen Miller to suspend the rights of immigrants to challenge their deportations in court.
Yeah, because he understood that would lead to a constitutional crisis, which, as the administration, you don't want that.
The New York Times.
Wow, those photos, good on Democracy Now.
It also reported Vice President J.D.
The anal polyp that is Stephen Miller.
Vance pushed to invoke the Insurrection Act in January, just days after federal immigration agents in Minnesota shot and killed the intensive care nurse Alex Preti. The revelations draw from reporting by New York Times reporters Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan in their forthcoming book titled...
Oh, that's why they've been targeting Maggie.
Regime...
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Change inside the imperial presidency of Donald Trump.
And now they're going after Aaron Parnas, which Aaron Parnas and Taylor Lorenz are going at it. And I gotta say, Taylor, like if you've ever had a doubt that Taylor Lorenz is a bad faith human being, just read what the fuck she's saying about Aaron.
No. The United Kingdom will ban children under the age of 16 from accessing social media platforms.
You didn't hear about this? Not until today. I read the New York Times or was it the New York Times piece? It might have been a summary, but I finally had this put on my radar today.
Including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube, to protect them from harmful content. The restrictions were announced Monday by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Really? And the free speech absolutists are where?
It will make a huge difference. It will make our children safer. It will make our children happier. And it will give them more time, more security, more freedom to grow up.
They're going after it because they think they somehow required recording of the Situation Room due to the accuracy of the quote they have.
More opportunity.
So you mean that they can't just, spot the leak, and instead of admitting that somebody leaked it, they're just like, somebody must have been spying on us.
Britain joins Australia, which last year became the first country in the world to impose a ban on social media for children under 16. Meanwhile, over a dozen...
Man, I kind of wish Rebecca were here so she could let us know about that.
...in other countries, including France and Denmark.
How it might, does she know how it's impacting anybody? Because I know that she talked that she has nieces and nephews that were impacted by this.
...are weighing legislation that would restrict children's access to social media websites and apps.
JD leaked it. I don't know if he actually was the leak. I don't know if he was actually there. He just sucks. Oh, that's what this whole JD Vance thing. See, I pulled that up for the next story.
More news from Britain. An appeals court has ruled the British government acted...
I just thought it was the whole thing he'd said on The View. I didn't know it was that, because I also saw him get clowned on another meme where he was saying, happy anniversary to our lovely second lady, 12 years and almost 4 kids later. And we're still going strong. Love you, Usha. Almost 4 sure sounds like he doesn't consider the fetus to the fetus she's pregnant with to be a real person yet. Weird.
Lawfully when it banned the group Palestine Action under its Terrorism Act. More than 3,000 activists have been arrested since the ban was imposed in July of last year, according to Al Jazeera. Amnesty International UK said on social media, quote, the banning of Palestine Action as a terrorist organization is a grave misuse of counterterrorism powers with serious consequences for human
it's burying a genocide
rights, unquote.
Yeah.
to see our coverage of Palestine action.
Yeah, and it's odd how Hassan and Cenk Uygur get banned for their critiques of Israel while they pull this shit. I mean, dude, if you live in the UK and you are kind of on the same page as like the American left, specifically, well, American left, and also, you know, the likes of Tucker Carlson, some right wingers on the whole thing with Gaza, then yeah, I don't know, guys, you might want to do something about this, because it seems that those right-wing shitheads are having a lot more of an impact on your government than you think.
Go to democracynow.org. And the South African jazz musician and pianist Abdullah Ibrahim has died at the age of 91. Ibrahim was born to parents of mixed ethnic descent in the 30s, Cape Town, South Africa, and made his professional debut as Dollar Brand at the age of 15. Over the decades, he went on to produce more than 70 records. Ibrahim's best-known work is Manenberg.
Oh, that's a nice piano.
Recorded in 1974, a major anti-apartheid anthem that reportedly inspired Nelson Mandela during his long imprisonment. Ibrahim performed at Mandela's 1994 inauguration as South Africa's first black president.
If someone in the admin bites it soon, that might have been the mole.
Mandela reportedly referred to him as our Mozart. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in
Belfast, Ireland, which, yeah, they're having their whole thing. Stats for nerds. Really?
The CIA director and the secretary.
Okay, so we're going to cover the Iran thing here. If Trump's deal is so good, why aren't they releasing the details public? Now, I had the same take on this, where I was just like, okay, the Trump administration has been notorious for, like, if they have these types of deals, that they'll just release them immediately. Like, look at the way that they declassify anytime that they do like a big boom. So when this, like, we're talking about like the actual peace agreement didn't come out, and we're all like, we're getting the same news where Iran and we all did the same thing, by the way. When they announced the whole thing, I guarantee we all went, and then they said it again. We were like, really? Like, we probably all had the weird acceptance thing. We were just, is this actually happening? Wow. Just because the way that this has been reported on for the past 2 months, where every weekend we're going to make a deal. We're so close to a deal. We're almost there. Deal. It's the art of the Neil. I hope you guys like that title from yesterday.
The CIA director and the Secretary of State doubting the agreement with Iran tonight. This is according to a new report just breaking from Axios, which reports that CIA Director John Ratcliffe reportedly told President Trump that U.S. intelligence raised serious doubts about Iran's willingness to make the nuclear concessions the United States wants. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth both also expressing concerns about the deal. All of that is hugely significant, and there is real anger coming from some of Trump's allies publicly, too. Trump and Vance claim they've already signed the agreement, but they've refused to let anybody see it. And tonight, some of Trump's most visible supporters are crying foul.
The Iranians may comply for a short period of time, but then we're going to have a weak American president, and they're going to have gotten the money. And then there's talk of a reconstruction fund of hundreds of billions of dollars. They'll be like doing a Marshall Plan for Germany while the Nazis were still in power. So I'm anxious to see what the details of the deal are and what gets negotiated, but I'm concerned.
I'm sorry, this is so funny. They're all doing the same thing. We're like, we're just waiting for the information.
In those concerns, he's referring to questions of whether Iran could have access to 300.
This is why Fox News is panicking, because they're like, oh my God, if this is true, we don't know how we're going to spin this. This is so much worse than Obama's deal.
$1 billion,
what are we doing?
Despite holding up its ends of the deal. And another Fox News host and longtime Trump backer, Mark Levin, is raising his.
Although they have 2 outs now. Like, Trump has 2 outs that he could totally pivot and start blaming he could blame the Democrats, and he can blame Congress for stepping in and saying, no, you can't end the war, which would be wild if they did that shit. Which I don't think the Democrats are going to throw that vote. So it would have to be a unilateral Republican vote to get him out of his own mess, or Israel's going to tank the deal.
His hand too, posting
because it is contingent on them not sending a single missile over to Lebanon.
On social media today, and I quote Mark Levin, I've asked for days, why can't we, the people, see the damn MOU? That stands for Memorandum of Understanding. Not for people.
I said this yesterday. I hadn't heard Mark Levin's voice like a whole lot. He's one of those dudes where you hear his voice like on a radio and you're like, oh, okay, fine. But then you see his face, you're like, that does not match.
People briefed by an anonymous person. Honestly, I've never seen anything like this. If it's a great outcome for peace, then release it.
Trump has surrendered to Iran. That is how conservative Eric Erickson is describing the little-known agreement between the United States and Iran that was signed virtually yesterday. Erickson took his criticism even further, claiming those who kill Americans love this deal. But the truth is, we don't know what exactly was agreed to.
Do not doubt Schumer's willingness to do the wrong thing. You make a good point. You make a very good point there, Shield. Also, what up, dude? Good to see you.
And what we do know changes, depends on who you ask. Questions remain about whether Iran will have access to billions of dollars of frozen funds and what, if any, concessions Iran has already agreed to. And while the White House claims that the Strait of Hormuz will be open toll-free, Iranian officials say it will have fees. Even the question of when we will actually see the text of this agreement isn't clear. J.D. Vance says maybe tomorrow. Trump says Friday. But Erickson is not the only Republican taking issue with the lack of transparency around this deal. Fox News host Mark Levin questions why the American people can't see the, quote, damn MOU. If it's a great outcome for peace, then release it. He added, don't brief a few anointed ones to control the narrative and expect everyone else to sit silently. Controlling the narrative can only last so long. And a new Axios reports finds that there are some skeptics in this administration too. Sources tell them that the CIA director, John Ratcliffe, advised Trump on some intelligence that raises serious doubts about Iran's willingness to make nuclear concessions. The source also told Axios that Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, have both expressed concerns based on that intelligence. Now, while Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner have all advocated for this deal, we are now sitting here, I guess, more than a day after apparently the United States and Iran have signed on to some kind of agreement. We don't have any text. We just have anonymous officials. They won't even put their names on the
Notice how Scott Jennings just went
statement, fighting over what is in it. And
pout harder, Jennings.
And
because honestly, this is one of those times where he's like, oh, so if I have a concrete opinion on this right now, this could really backfire on me because I don't know about it. So I'll just kind of watch his commentaries and just be like, hey, if all of this is right, then it sounds like a good deal to me.
I do think one of the basic things is if this agreement is a page and a half long and it doesn't actually have any hard commitments on the nuclear issue, why are we even talking about sanctions relief? Why are we even talking about reconstruction funds or releasing any money at all?
Well, we're talking to them because we want this conflict to end and we want to get to an ultimate goal where Iran doesn't have any or the capacity to make any nuclear weapons. That is the principal goal. That's number one. Number two, it would be wise for the administration to put this document out for everybody to look at, and they ought to do it.
Scott Jennings is such a putz. I'm in hater mode today. Oh, today's gonna be fun.
As soon as they can, both for their allies who are interested, but also for the American people, because we've gone to war here. The American people deserve to know how this is.
I hate that last sip of coffee every time. It's just like
going to come to an end.
Hey, do you want this on your beard? Well,
number three, I talked to the president on Sunday. And he was, telling me he was about to sign something with Iran, and he did. And he was excited to get the Strait of Hormuz open. But he said something very important to me, which is, look, if they don't follow through on their commitments, we will start hitting them again. He's clearly not taking further military action off the table. So we have some miles to travel down this road. The next mile will be on Friday when there's a formal signing. For the people who don't trust Iran, look, I agree with you. I think an Iranian signature is worth very, very little, but it could be worth something if the president keeps this Middle Eastern
bangs do not
coalition together.
What is your understanding of what this deal actually accomplishes?
The accomplishment here principally would be getting all the nuclear material and destroying
this deal?
it.
That's not because that's not what's in this deal.
No, that's the goal.
No, I'm asking you, what do you think this?
No, see, he's going based off like using the same old talking points. This is where you can tell he's floundering, man.
Oh, sorry. I understand. The memorandum of understanding. So 60 days, ceasefire, open the Strait of Hormuz, and you have a window to finalize the discussions about ending the nuclear program. The president believes he's got them to agree to do that. They have 60 days to finalize that. And again, I'll just stress, as he said to me on Sunday, if they don't follow through on that, I'll start hitting them again.
Can I just say on the 60 days, though, can I just say that on what Scott was saying on the MOU, 60 days to negotiate anything with Iran when it comes to its nuclear program. We're not even talking about its ballistic missile program, its support to its proxies. 60 days is aspirational at best. I think what we understand this agreement to be is trying to restore the Strait to pre-war conditions where there was freedom of navigation that flew and international law was upheld. But right now, we don't even know the details of this agreement because Iran is saying that they're going to charge some type of fee for ships going in and out of the Strait, which would be highly illegal under international law. Not only that, we don't know when the Strait is open, we don't know when the blockade is ending, and we don't know. I mean, the only ones that can determine if the Strait is open, it's not Iran, it's not the United States, it's the shipping companies.
Told you, yeah.
If the shipping companies feel confident that they can sail through the Strait unimpeded and safely, then they will do it. But we don't know that.
Well, with
let me let Charles say he wanted to get in.
Well, the point you make about whether or not the Strait will be open is, I think, the crucial one. The people who study this, it'll take months to clear it of mind, let alone try to figure out new navigation lanes that the Iranians want to put into effect in order to collect some fees. And then you have to worry about whether or not the shipping companies will be able to pay the insurance. They're not paying war insurance.
Memorandum to a ceasefire to negotiate a memorandum for a ceasefire to facilitate negotiation proceedings.
100%
well said.
Increase in their insurance costs from before this war started. And the insurance companies have to be reassured and that they can bring those costs down, and that the shipping companies have to be reassured that they will be able to pay the new costs to get through it. No one believes that this happens in a couple of months. So the idea that this deal may start the reopening, but it will not reopen the Strait.
I mean, I don't even know that we should even be calling it a deal of any kind because
Thank you. Oh my God, she finally said it. Somebody in mainstream media just said it. We should not be calling this a deal. That's a big.
Just to be clear, if it's a deal,
I'll give you the W on this one.
To say before you even sign it, here's what we both agreed to. Anna, did you know that John Thune, Senate Majority Leader, has not even been briefed? He told Manu Rajiv today. He has not been briefed.
Actually, I did know that because I listened to Manu say that, and nobody in Congress has been briefed.
The Israelis are asking, what's in this deal?
What is with Anna Navarro? Why is she always in like full on bitch mode?
Under what circumstances would the United States sign a document with Iran and not tell anybody what was
And
in
it's,
it?
you know, I mean, so JD Vance told Jake Tapper that it is a page and a half. My
tweets longer than that.
grocery shopping list for Thanksgiving is longer than that. So it's not like they have that briefing them on what's in this MOU should
They wrote it in the car.
be that difficult because there doesn't seem to be that much in that
Done.
MOU. I think it feels like it's kicking the can down the road and giving them 60 days to come up with something else.
Yeah.
But, you know, Donald Trump has done a terrible job selling this entire thing from the beginning. He never went in front of the American people. He never went in front of Congress to explain it thoroughly. I think he gets another shot at doing it now, and he should do it, and he should do it expeditiously because a lot of these attacks are coming from
the
inside
agreement
the house.
is written in no. Yeah. That's funny, but I would say crayon.
So if he doesn't even have his allies on board
And then they ate it.
selling this, he needs to be clear and transparent with the American people and certainly
done.
with Congress, because if he's going to be disbursing any money,
Blue.
they've got to authorize it.
First, on that point, there's no dispersal of funds. I know, and this is what I wanted to address. I think the administration today has been pretty upset about what they say is misinformation flying around out there, even from some of their own big.
I'm glad that they laughed because that's adorable, Scott.
They have no right to use that information when they won't release the document.
If I may,
I'm liking this one.
It's that simple.
if I may, the quickest way to dispel
It's Scott. If I may continue before you interrupted me so rudely.
misinformation would, of course, be to put the document out and say, here's what our intentions are.
Okay, I love that she's eating this up, or she's just like, squirm harder, Scott.
When we get to Friday, and here's what our intentions are over the 60-day period. So hopefully they do that in the next 24 hours, and that'll bring some clarity.
It's funny to watch not be able to be smug.
It doesn't count to claim we are not going to be dispersing funds.
Laughing him
There's
out of the
a
studio.
$300 billion fund that we are authorizing to be dispersed to the Iranians, which I'll play what
The
JD
working theory is that Trump knew he was going to cave on the deal, but asked Iran to sign it on Sunday so he could ask for some concessions as a birthday gift. Yes.
said about that. That is not actually,
Nice. I'm a special boy.
actually being disputed by the administration. Listen.
The Iranians are saying that they're going to have access to a $300 billion reconstruction fund. True or false?
Well, Ed, that's the sort of thing they could have access to, funded by the Gulf Coast Coalition, so long as they honor their end of the obligation. We absolutely are open.
I nailed it. I fucking nailed it yesterday, where I was just saying, dude, this is Saudi Arabia and the UAE kind of paying Iran off to end the war.
To the Gulf Coast countries investing in the reconstruction of Iran, but
God, I'm good at this.
Only if Iran ends their nuclear program, ends their enriched stockpile of material, and is really open to
who streams? I stream.
An inspections and enforcement regime.
Politics.
that gives the American people confidence they're never going to have a nuclear weapon.
You all have permission to cringe now.
So there it is. What are they mad
Look,
about?
I mean, I don't think
They said it in a call. Dan said it on TV.
Dude, Abby Phillips barely brings receipts like that. That is
more than Obama negotiated with Iran.
I don't think it matters whether when the JCPOA was signed, the money was not taxpayer dollars. That was Iranian money that was held in
Iranian money.
accounts.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's our money or not.
It's a good point. Even if it is the Gulf states' money, I don't think a median GOP-based voter is going to be particularly thrilled with the notion of releasing $300 billion in funds to the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. That's not why we got into this. But here's
it's kind of the opposite, that reason that they sold us on there, dude.
What I will say. Me personally, I'm a bomb the terrorists guy. If that didn't work and I was president, I would probably just bomb the terrorists some more. But I'm not the president. Donald Trump is.
He's fucking, you absolute ghoul.
He was elected on a kind of dual message.
Oh my God.
One, the Iranians can never have a nuclear weapon.
This guy fucking sucks.
And two, we're also not going to get into endless quagmire wars in the Middle East. To me, this looks like the execution of that
Can I
process.
just tell you that
Well,
the
let me just finish
bombing
point.
of terrorists, we can both agree on, but bombing Iran into submission did not work.
Well,
and Iran,
maybe that's
in March, the president tweeted that Iran will
militarily.
unconditionally surrender, and that just has not happened.
Yeah, that guy's straight up a war hawk.
President Trump says the text of the deal will likely be released only after a formal signing ceremony on Friday. Meanwhile, confusion and contradictions continue.
Why? Because you know that a lot of people are going to be pissed off about it. I mean, hey, I'm here for it. Like, honestly,
Israel's prime minister.
I don't have much at stake in this one.
Benjamin Netanyahu, for example.
This is him. This is him and the right wing and the Zionists are freaking the fuck out right now. Just enjoy it, guys. Small wins. Small wins.
Says Israeli forces will remain in Lebanon. Netanyahu added in a defiant address yesterday, quote, the struggle has not ended. Iran's foreign minister said this morning that continuing Israeli occupation of Lebanon would be a violation of the deal. Meanwhile,
I just knocked over my cat treat.
On the Strait of Hormuz, Iran indicated yesterday it intends to charge fees for unspecified services in the key waterway, just one day after President Trump claimed it would be reopened and be permanently toll-free. And when it comes to potential reconstruction...
So you're telling me that there's wildly different information coming out about this? No way.
...funding for Iran. The president is pushing back on those reports, but a senior U.S. official told reporters yesterday that the possibility of releasing frozen funds, sanctions release, and a big $300 billion fund to rebuild Iran was discussed and would be tied to performance.
Iran has never agreed to has agreed to never have a nuclear weapon. Also, the story about the U.S. paying Iran $300 million is fake news. That was a B with a...
Joe, sounds like there's a lot of work to do between now and Friday.
Yes, and also a lot of work to be done.
It's almost like there's not a deal
between the president and the vice president, their communications, because he accused that $300 billion fee being put out by Democrats. His vice president told CBS News that, yes, that $300 billion was possible for Iran to get based on their...
Notice how he said 300 million.
...behavior. So, Democrats, no. Vice President J.D. Vance, yes. You need to talk to J.D. because he's the one that was telling everybody yesterday, confirming what the Iranians were also saying. Mark McKinnon, I thought from the beginning of this war that it was deeply ironic that the president that, a lot of people may think that Donald Trump despises Barack Obama or Jimmy Carter the most. George W. Bush, actually, for just like, for pound. I mean, based on what I've heard him say, I mean, he just loathes George W. Bush and will tell anybody who will listen to him how dumb and stupid Bush was for getting us into Iraq and not taking the oil. One of the great ironies is he found himself in a similar position as George W. Bush, where actually the stakes were much higher. The stakes were the world economy. Talk about, you saw what getting tied down in the Middle Eastern war.
Interesting side note, the comedian Dan Soder, this is his, I believe, second cousin. It's his mom's cousin.
To a president and the inability to do anything else. Talk about what looks like at least desperation from this vantage point of this president willing to give Iran pretty much what they wanted to get out of this war.
Yeah, Joe, a lot of PTSD that I'm having these days about the Iraq war and the parallels. But the place where the parallels fall apart is, remember how actually popular the Iraq war was when we went in. I mean, on a lot of those resolutions, they got 99 senators voting, including, everybody but one Democrat was supporting it, and huge public support. This was never popular from the very beginning. And so, I mean, we have a Trump supporting publication here skeptical about the mystery deal. And I was thinking, with Jim here on the set, I was thinking, I'm a shallow media guy, so I can't really get into the substance of the deal. But what I can think about is the politics of it. And think about the midterms and this deal. Where would you rather be, attacking this deal or defending it, Jim?
1,000%. You want to attack this. You want to go straight at it. Mika's right. The devil's in the details. We can't see the details. The more the details come out, the worse this deal gets. This entire war starts out as very unpopular. And now it's going to get worse as we see what they had to give Iran to get this deal done. I think this is going to age very poorly.
And Jim, following up, I mean, there's also splits within the Republicans about this deal. First of all, as we noted, a number of them have questions like, well, okay, what is the agreement? We haven't even seen it yet.
Yep.
We have seen Lindsey Graham and others, Ted Cruz and some who are more considered Iran hawks, being at least skeptical, if not downright critical of concerning where this could go. It feels like we know there are very few places where Republicans are willing to defy Trump, but this seems like a spot where he is going to be open to some criticism.
I think Lindsey Graham's the best example here. He went straight at the vice president of the United States. He said he wants J.D. Vance to come to the Hill and defend this because this is a deal he made, which shows a couple things. They no longer think that J.D. Vance is going to be the definite nominee of the party. And two, they are beginning to split on what they had to promise to get this deal done.
Isn't it odd that Vance is out there as the tip of the spear on this rather than Marco Rubio?
Agree.
But and now he is, and I think there's those who are looking.
Yeah, but he is the vice president
for 2028 on the
Marco Rubio is not.
Republican side.
Even these dipshits want Marco Rubio.
Joe say this is a pretty tough hand for J.D. Vance to have to play, that he is sort of like left holding the bag. And it is remarkable, though. The Secretary of State has been nowhere on this Iran war. He has distanced himself from it from the start. Yeah. Focused much more on Venezuela, focused on perhaps upcoming actions in Cuba and other things. He is sort of clearly decided deliberately to keep his distance.
This is giving J.D. Vance, Iran. It's like Joe Biden giving Kamala Harris the border.
I'm so over rich fucks sitting around a table doing what is essentially fancy gossip.
It doesn't work.
Yep. Again, this is why this space is so fucking crucial. To have working class voices that also do have the gift of gab and the ability to broadcast and give you guys the news. Like, I hope you guys understand how important this is.
It's not going to, and it's
especially with these dipshits.
It's not going to work out in the end for him.
Also,
especially when.
Quick reminder that all of us do have other jobs. So support your creators in any way that you possibly can, whether it be hitting that like bell or like button, sharing the streams, all the free ways. And then, of course, doing the memberships and all the ways that you can help any of the smaller creators that you guys watch. And this goes for anybody, even off this space. I'm big on this.
When he's saying stupid things like, oh, well, they've changed their ways. Do we have that clip yet, Dan? The clip where JD was.
You don't need those big streaming services. You take all that money that you would give to those big streaming services to give it to smaller creators, and you will feel a lot better and also be way more entertained.
So on TV saying, no, the Iranians now.
Except for Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's okay.
What's so neat is the Iranians have changed their ways. Not yet. Well, get that for me, if you will. I think I asked for it in 1924.
And Hulu. Hulu's actually pretty fucking good. I hate to admit it.
Let's get it before the next World Cup. Anyway, now I've forgotten exactly what I was going to say. Walter Isaacson, when is America going to learn? Actually, I do remember what I was going to say. As a historian, when is America going to learn that you can win every single battle militarily? You won every single battle in Vietnam militarily. At the end of the war, General Herdling tells a great story of one of our colonels saying to one of the Vietnamese colonels, in 75, you guys didn't beat us in a single battle over the course of this entire war, over the course of the decade. And the response was from the Vietnamese colonel, he said, well, that may be true. It's also completely irrelevant. You look at Iraq. You look at Afghanistan.
By the way, look at the American Revolution. We had
the American
Washington had trouble winning a lot of battles, but we won the war.
Yeah.
I think in the Revolutionary War, one of Washington's greatest achievements was his retreat from Long Island, just staying alive for the next battle against the British. And so when are we going to learn? When are American presidents going to learn? It doesn't matter what your military might looks like in drawn-out battles. You can win every military battle and still lose the war. And we keep doing it, and it sure as hell happened here. Iran's going to be in a stronger position regardless of how this still ends.
Yeah, this is a win for them, like a big fucking win.
Iran's going to be in a
even if one of these things is true.
Stronger position after this war than they were before it.
Yeah, I think we forget how strong nationalism can be. And when we go in, There's many historic examples.
What up, Latino Mafune?
When Eisenhower was thinking of going into Vietnam after the French lost at Denver, he asked
Welcome
Matthew
in.
Ridgway, what would it take? And the general says 8 years and 8 divisions. So Eisenhower's smart enough not to do it, not to go in that way. It did take 8 years and 8 divisions, and we still didn't win. The notion that you can bomb or try to invade a country and change the government generally gets us mired down. And
again, he thought it was going to work out like Venezuela. Everybody is negating to say that,
certainly,
which is not good.
The problem for me with the Trump invasion attack on
God, these, like you said, Pinkerbell, these you forgot to add old.
And around
I'm getting tired of like these people that are staring the Grim Reaper in the face, and they are the ones telling us, you know, this is what's going on in your world.
Is we didn't quite know what the point was. Was it to get the enrich you?
When the median age of America right now is like around 40 years old.
Uranium out? Was it to get regime change? Was it to...
It's almost like we should be in power.
Control the Strait of Hormuz? If you're a Colin Powell, you say, define your objectives, tell me your aims, and then you figure out the resources you need. But if you don't define what we're exactly doing, it's hard to balance the commitment.
By the way, guys, welcome to the second hour of Pepaganda.
With the resources.
Yeah, the smartest thing any president can do is look at how Colin Powell added to the Weinberger Doctrine, which basically said, first of all, do we have support of Congress? Do we have support of the American people?
What about the hot dog doctrine?
The answers there were no. And then he asks, tell me how
the beer hot dog doctrine.
This is going to end.
That's a good one.
What's a triggering point? What do we have to achieve before we bring our troops home? We never had any of that here, and that's one of the biggest problems. The president finally settled on no nukes for Iran, but we're getting out of this deal right now. Absolutely nothing other than I will talk about it in 60 days. So that doesn't work. So Jim Messina, I see these clips, and the old politician in me thinks, I sure would like to run against that guy.
The hot dog doctrine is supreme law at Costco. Dude, Costco hot dogs rule.
Why wasn't I ever lucky enough
Oh
to...
my God. Dijon mustard with the relish. The relish is actually really good. As a Chicagoan, I can say that the relish, fire. And then their chopped onions. They put them in a cup now too, which honestly I like a lot better.
Run against that guy. I want to show you one of those clips.
Now I want a hot dog really bad.
The coolest thing about the progress we've made over the last few weeks is that you see people within the Iranian system, senior leadership, even IRGC officials say, you know what, we may have some animosity.
For any reason that we're in a position where you guys have to buy me a hot dog and then you guys, you know how I take it.
Have some mistrust, but we recognize the way that we've done business with the United States for 47 years.
Wonder if sriracha would work on a hot dog. It depends. Not with all the other like fixins like that.
Verify that, of course.
If it's just sriracha by itself, maybe.
But we're certainly willing to try something else if they comply.
I've seen the light. I've seen the light. Praise the Lord. I've seen the light. Yes, the Revolutionary Guard. We are told by J.D. Vance to see the light after we killed their supreme leader, after we killed people that ran parliament, after we killed people that ran their defense.
Dude, if this guy opens his mouth wide, do you think he'd look like a Titan?
Industry, after we killed people that ran their intelligence.
I mean, the mouth to like rest of his face ratio, like, wow.
Like after we obliterated about half of the country, after we killed over 100 girls in a girls' school on the first day of the war. They've seen the light.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Again, we don't know what's in the deal. I'm always a big believer. You never know what's going to happen. The Soviet Union falls overnight. Iran looks better 20 years after the invasion.
Good luck on seeing that.
Than they did at the time of the invasion. These things have to play out. But I do know this.
I can't.
The Revolutionary Guard hasn't seen like a vision in the clouds, and they haven't suddenly found Jesus. And now they think, hey, it's cool. Let's work with the United States, the great Satan, instead of working against them.
Oh, Joe, there's clips that you say to yourself, oh my God, what was he thinking? Mark McKinnon is sitting over here giggling because he
Wait a minute, did he not say
make an ad against that clip. It is remarkably bad politics thinking that someday the Iranian Guard is going to pull well in America. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, he did a great job. He made him love America.
I don't know why, but I'm so fascinated by this guy's like
people who said that America's the great Satan.
You
that
would
wanted
think
to
that,
get rid of the entire Jewish state of Israel. Like,
no,
what
but
are
he's
we
like,
doing?
He's very locked in. Okay, I totally like went off the rails at the end there because Troutmouth got me that Troutmouth. All right, you win.
His brother felt compelled enough to
Status quo's live. My bad. I did not mean to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to rebroadcast. I will give them a like, though, before I go. 601, hell yeah. Go support Status Quo, people. I will say that, too. We're not even doing a segment on them or covered by them, but you guys really, if you want great on the ground coverage, and they show up to pretty much every important protest, so yeah. Markets don't care about what's in the Iran deal. They just want to respond. Yep. Why high gas prices are here to stay. Fuck it. I'm interested in it. Let's do it. There we go. Shit. All right. First breaking points segment today. This one we kind of found, like I just found this, so obviously no pre-watch. Big Jerry, what's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome in. I have one request. You see what I'm doing here? You see this? Like. You should do the same. And now, on with the video.
We have a memo of understanding for a 60-day negotiation period. A lot that could go wrong with regard to this potential deal with Iran, which we've covered other places in the show. But we wanted to take a look at the economic fallout and assuming the best case scenario.
They're a Status Quo patron because they put themselves on the line to do guerrilla journalism. Same.
Assuming this all goes.
Well, it is one of the channels that I am a member of and will continue to be a member of.
Swimmingly, and the Strait of Hormuz opens imminently. What is likely to be the continued lag effects? How quickly can we expect oil markets in particular to get back?
Actually, interestingly enough, because I already had it like kind of budgeted for TYT, when I left TYT, I gave it to Status Quo.
To normal. So the New York Times has an interesting write-up here. They say
swap.
Deal to reopen Hormuz kicks off a long effort to ease the energy crisis. Because remember, we've had months at this point of things not being normal. And if there's one thing we learned both from Ukraine and from the COVID shock, it can take a while before the kinks get worked out of the system till things truly revert to the way that they were
This
before.
is all predicated too, where it's just like, wait, they have to, they actually like have to maintain this. Like there can't be any, if somebody breaks this, then it's like,
There's also some indications they may never completely return to the way that they were before. Let me read you a little bit from this piece. They say the long-awaited deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz brought quick relief to the oil market, sending prices to their lowest level since early March. Getting substantial amounts of oil and gas flowing, however, will take much longer. It can take weeks or months, even in the best of times, to get oil and gas from wells in the Persian Gulf to buyers in China or Japan. The first big test for whether the deal will work is whether it gives shipping companies enough confidence to send their vessels through the strait. If they do, tankers that have been stranded in the Persian Gulf will be able to bring much needed fuel to buyers around the world. What comes after that will depend a lot on how long companies think the reopening will last. The U.S. and Iran agreed to a 60-day truce during which they would try to breach a broader agreement on Iran's nuclear weapons program and U.S. sanctions against the country. So, Sagar, what they point to here is the fact that, a lot of the reason that ships have not been transiting the Strait of Hormuz is obviously.
She did the same thing I do a lot, where it's like I can't think of the word going through
the war.
But then she was like transiting,
or led to an inability to transit and
Status Quo. Hell yeah,
there were mines in the strait.
High five.
But also, even if you wanted to, you were not going to be able to get insurance.
Current Affairs is offering free digital subscriptions to anyone who cancels their New York Times sub.
The shipping companies that own these giant tankers are not willing to take that risk. And so now you have a situation that continues to be very tenuous. Are they going to be able to get insurance in the near term? Are they going to wait the 60 days until a deal is actually secured before they begin transiting again?
Yeah.
So it will be a further delay before traffic fully returns to normal. You also have a situation where, everybody's stockpiles have dramatically diminished. So there's.
Yeah. So when does this actually hit the market? Because I'm not sure if y'all have been paying attention, but things are actually kind of going, down. So, and I know it's because of the Asian market thing. Long story short, the Asian markets had projections on how much they would need, and this is why it was affecting the prices. But then I guess that they only used like 40% of their actual projected stockpile and all that. So they were like, no, go ahead, release it back. China was like, realistically, they have alternative means. Like most of their stuff is like solar, even clean coal, which they made a thing. They made it a thing. I still can't believe that they did it. They actually did the thing. And that's why I think that at some point Trump got he had like a memo on this from one of his, like in his first administration. I swear to God, I think that somebody told him like they're cleaning the coal in China. He's like, well, we could have clean coal. They're doing, and like he just didn't say they're doing it in China because he didn't want to give them any credit.
Very low levels in our strategic petroleum reserve as well as countries.
But yeah, that's why the markets are the way they are right now
around the country. So there's going to be, further increased demand as things come back to normal.
If groceries don't go down, it doesn't count. No. And our pay is still not going up.
All of this is to say that it may still be a while before things truly return to anything approximating what they were before the war.
Right. And if we look at some of the oil markets and others, so for example, Brent crude is currently trading around $80 a barrel. I think that West Texas somewhere around 70. We should begin to see gas prices come, which is good. We're going to see it's still about $4 a gallon nationally. It'll probably normalize around $3.50 or so. But that's the problem, is $3.50 is still at least $1 higher or so than where things were before the war began. And people are going to remember that they still had to pay those 100 days of $4 a gallon gasoline as things continue. The important point that they make inside of this story around the Strait of Hormuz and the resumption of oil traffic is the amount of slack in the system now is basically completely gone. For example, let's put D2 up here on the screen. This is the U.S. Energy Secretary who was speaking just a week ago, who said, quote, it will take many months to get back to normal after this energy crisis. And the specific thing that he points to is around the shifting of supply chain. And so what we were talking about a lot of time during the blockade was it takes like 40 something days.
People not only need to be able to afford to survive, but also have economic freedom to live a normal life. Yep.
From a tanker to get from Asia.
My wife, she actually, like, we had a moment, and I love that she kind of said it too, where she's just like, damn it, I just want this. I want to just stop surviving, and I actually just want to be able to live.
To the United States.
But I think that we're all in survival mode, do you understand how fucked up that is? Like, the majority of America, lives paycheck to paycheck, and it's the same bullshit we've heard for almost a decade, that we can't afford just one slip up
and then another 40 days, I could be wrong on the exact number of days, but something like that, to go back. And so many different supply chains have been redirected from Asia to America or from America to Asia, that reshifting and coming back to the Strait of Hormuz, it takes months. And there's also all the excess oil that was in the system is gone, basically.
Right.
And the example of this I think we have is about, what was it? Yeah, D5, please, that we can put up here. You can actually see in this chart, what we have is the barrels of crude in the U.S. Petroleum Reserve are literally at their lowest level since the 1980s.
Yeah.
So since Ronald Reagan was president, the U.S. Petroleum Reserve has never been this low. And what the oil,
and that was post the Jimmy Carter administration, where there were oil, there were already, so many shortages that it was causing, lines at gas stations, and you had to do the even odd system.
Say is that with all these dwindling stockpiles, it basically just means you're going to have some level of demand destruction. For oil facilities and others, as we've described, we still don't even know what level they were operating at. Rory made a real point of telling us here on the show, it's not that simple to go from 10% to 80. You have all the storage, which is backed up. And if any of these refineries were taken completely to zero, that's not, it takes a while, for everything to spin back up. And you still have all these shifts. The UAE left OPEC. They're going to be pumping as much as they possibly can. Saudi Arabia, and others, it could be even a price war, which could cause problems. So there's just going to be chaos I think, in the markets for probably at least a year or so to come.
So they say in this piece too that a lot of oil and natural gas producers, they some of them shut their wells. Some of the oil fields, there was significant damage that occurred during the war as well. So are you going to do the difficult work of bringing everything back online, of repairing everything when things continue to be uncertain, at least for the 60-day period? According to this New York Times report, Gulf countries slashed up to 15 million barrels a day of oil production this spring. That's nearly 15% of global supply. So you have to judge, okay, is it worth going back to the production levels we had, which is not a simple and straightforward thing, or are we going to wait a little bit longer and see if this thing really comes to fruition and see how this all completely shakes out? With regard to traffic in the Strait of Hormuz, we can go ahead and put D4 up on the screen here as well, because you can see that we are still a long way from getting back to the normal level of traffic within the strait. This tweet says, claims about Hormuz reopening are exactly why we built this. If ships start moving through the strait with AIS transponders on, you'll see it in the index updated every 30 minutes. So this will certainly be something to pay attention to as we see how companies read the political dynamics and how certain they are that this deal is going to come through and is going to ultimately be solid. The other thing I was looking at this morning, Sagar, is some aspects of the energy market are likely not to go back to normal ever, because I think just like there were a lot of learnings from Ukraine and Russia, there was a big realization here, certainly in other places as well, that as long as you're reliant on global energy markets, your whole economy can be held hostage, right? You are truly at risk.
I was going to say this, where all it takes is one pipeline going down and the entire world market shifts.
And so during the course of this war, there was a massive increase in demand
just go back to Russia. Look at how the market reacted to just that.
Chinese solar panels and for EV cars. That technology has really come of age now, where it can be a reliable and affordable alternative, both at sort of the nationwide level and also at the individual consumer level. And so countries that have started to shift in that direction are not likely to shift back because they don't want to find themselves in this situation again. And the technology has advanced even in just the several years since the Ukraine war began to make it a much more feasible alternative. So I guess thank you to Trump for helping to speed up the renewable energy transition. We appreciate your service, sir.
Dean Baker, I think he was from the Washington Post. He wrote this very interesting story about how BYD should award Trump Salesman of the Year. And I was reading the data. It's unbelievable the amount of cars that they have been able to export and to sell. Actually, in the interim last 6 months, they're actually rolling out all kinds of new technology, which I've been wanting to cover some of this stuff for a while. One of them is a flash charger, which can take your car from 10 to 70% in 5 minutes.
That's amazing.
I mean, on a supercharger with the Tesla, you're probably looking. I did it this weekend for at least 15 minutes or so, and that's assuming there's not some idiot parked next to you. Even when there's 5 other stalls that are open.
Or that the chargers are broken.
Or the chargers. I will say the Tesla's chargers are never broken, but the, what is it, EV America, or not never broken, but I forget exactly what they are. The private other companies are awful in terms of the infrastructure. But I saw that and I was like, man, if you make charging similar to just filling up a gas tank, that changes the whole ball game.
Yeah, that's when everybody's start moving to electric, and then it's like, oh, but we pivoted away from it because fossil fuel companies have our government by the balls.
Yeah,
I even saw. I think they can go 10 to 90. I think in 10 minutes, which is shocking, right? For hundreds.
Him just figuring out that it's like, yeah, China's got some pretty cool shit.
Miles to charge to be able to go.
This dude's he's still in the 90s era where he's just like, they make a bunch of cheap crap, blah blah blah.
I don't know. I see that, and I see also. You have this feeling of abandonment by the United States in all of these different countries. We talked a lot about Asia over the last several months. Well, it's going to be very difficult for them to keep a superior product and to really just align itself with America over this period. I really do think, that we will live with the consequences of that for a really long time. On top of Tesla, I mean, if you look, they don't even want to be a car company anymore. That's one kind of thing which is crazy. They want to become a robo-taxi and robot company. They want nothing to do with the car business. They've ended the production of some of their models explicitly just to move to, what is it, Cybercab, then robo-taxi, and then to robots. They say it in their own, production documents. So they're almost acquiescing in certain ways. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a tangent, but I was fascinated by that.
Yeah, but it's also why when he made that China deal, everybody was kind of like, is he actually going to allow their cars? Because, people that have been paying attention to the automotive market, I want that.
In terms of how the war could significantly accelerate EV adoption in the rest of the world, which is de facto good for China and for their market.
I mean, the only reason our domestic car producers are competitive in the EV market at all is because we cannot buy BYD. Yes. I mean, it would be over for them if we were allowed to purchase their vehicles because they're just more technologically advanced. And if we
I didn't pre-watch
had the infrastructure here and we had that level of tech, it would be, only a matter of time before the full transition happened because the technology genuinely is superior. Like not having to go to the gas station, fill up is great. There's less maintenance on the car, not having to get the little light coming on. Oh, you got to get your oil changed again. It's great. The way they drive is fantastic. It is going to be the future. It's just a matter of time. And, the Trump administration has this like ideological war on EVs and any sort of renewable energy that has precluded us from moving more aggressively in that direction.
Can you imagine the idiots that bought the Cybertruck, how dumb they're going to feel?
But ultimately,
I mean, they should already feel that way. Let's be honest.
I think the technology will win out.
Yeah. It's
the biggest suckers in our society right now.
All right, let's get to the poll.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Where it's just like the entire time that you were getting sold on that, they were dismantling the infrastructure. Oh my God. My talkie hole, it malfunctioned. All right. Here we go. This is the main one I wanted to watch. Okay. I haven't also seen this one. Have I do a pre-watch on any of these? Nope. Because that was not how it worked out today. All right. Giant L, Ben Shapiro melts down over Iran deal. No, that's not it. Sorry, guys. Things got a little messed up on my end. There we go. All righty. I'm going to start this real quick. I have to run to the bathroom. It will only be about a minute. So just give me a get your intro in.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I have an amazing show for everybody today. What do we have, Crystal?
Indeed, we do. A lot of updates for you about what we know with regard to the Iran deal. Trump making some interesting comments today about how Syria should actually be in charge of taking care of Hezbollah, not Israel. Netanyahu resisting, pulling out of Lebanon. So a lot to get to there. Trita Parsi is going to join us to break down his understanding of the deal and how it came together. And also the deportation threats against him, which have been quite significant. We also are going to take a look at some new AI stories. Anthropic's Dario Amodei with some very terrifying and eyebrow-raising comments. Also a major walkout from another graduation ceremony. This one, the CEO of Google was speaking. So that is quite a significant development there. We're taking a look also at the oil markets. Let's say that the deal signing happens this Friday, that they, in 60 days even, are able to come to some sort of agreement. Obviously, a lot of these things have, a lot of question marks around them. But even given the best case scenario, how long will it take for the oil markets to get back to normal? We've got some numbers and some data there to show you. We're also taking a look at the polls this morning and a very interesting clip of a MAGA grandma who says that the Trump economy is giving her literal panic attacks. So a lot to get to this morning. And for the premium subscribers, we'll also have the AMA live after we record the show.
That's right. If you want to watch it, breakingpoint.com. You can sign up.
All right, now I know why Stan isn't here.
Everybody who's been supporting the show show. Thank you. We had a huge day yesterday. So seriously, thank you to all of these viewers. Many of the new viewers who are here, go ahead and check out our premium service. If you're just watching us on YouTube, please hit subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening to the podcast, share an episode with a friend. But let's go ahead and start with Iran. So right now, what we are seeing is extraordinary new comments from President Trump, who is abroad attending the G7. There's a lot of
damn, I'm good at this.
Different bilateral meetings. One was with Zelensky. This one was with the Emir of Qatar, where he appears to say and to shunt Israel under the bus in Lebanon, though, of course, Bibi Netanyahu is resisting. We'll show you that here in just a little bit. But here are his comments where he says that if Israel can't handle Hezbollah, maybe Al-Qaeda in Syria can. Let's take a listen.
Syria, he's pulled that country together amazingly quickly. He's very capable. And he's been very good for me. He's protected everything that I've asked for, he's done. And if Israel can't do the job without killing...
This is why I hate pants suits, by the way. Like, you see his pants and the socks and all that. That ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Everyone else, he'll do the job. Syria will do the job.
He'll do the job. Syria will do the job. So we're going to ask Al-Qaeda to take on Hezbollah. Interesting. Let's go to the next one. This is from Trey Yanks. He compiled all of Trump's comments throughout the day here on Israel and Hezbollah.
Now? Wait a minute.
He says, Israel is fighting Hezbollah too long. Too many people are being killed. You don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody. There are a lot of people in those apartment houses. They're not all Hezbollah. I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. On Israel striking Hezbollah in Beirut, I did not like that. I let them know that. Says the attack was, quote, too much. If Israel can't do the job, he'll do the job. Syria will do the job. Bibi has to be more responsible with respect to Lebanon. I am not happy with the way Israel has handled themselves in Lebanon and Hezbollah. Israel would have blown up a long time ago had I not gotten involved.
New York Times confirms that they lied about Epstein's suicide.
So that is interesting to say the least. And remember, Hezbollah and Lebanon remain the keystone to this entire thing. The Iranians say it's in the memorandum of understanding. The Trump administration briefed a bunch of reporters yesterday. They say it's not in the memorandum of understanding. And yet there is still full-scale freakout because we have no idea what's in that memorandum of understanding. It hasn't been released, according to the vice president. It is, quote, a page and a half. The JCPOA, for reference, was, I think, 159 pages after it was released. But what we do know is that many of the key details, which we brought you all yesterday, which were reported by the Iranian side about what's in it for them, including a $300 billion reconstruction fund, do now appear to be confirmed by the vice president, who was on television yesterday. Let's take a listen.
The Iranians are saying that they're going to have access to a $300 billion reconstruction fund. True or false?
Well, and that's the sort of thing they could have access to, funded by the Gulf Coast Coalition, so long as they honor their end of the obligation. I think that one of the things you're going to see, Ed, and people have to be skeptical of this, is that the hardliners in the Iranian system will overemphasize the benefits that Iran gets while underemphasizing all the things that they have to concede and all the things they have to provide in order to get these benefits. So we absolutely are open to the Gulf Coast countries investing in the reconstruction of Iran, but only if Iran ends their nuclear program.
Is Barry Weiss hiring a bunch of people that look like her?
Ends their...
Odd that she'd, fire Stephen Colbert then.
Rich stockpile of material, and it's really open to an inspections and enforcement regime that gives the American people confidence they're never going to have a nuclear weapon. So I think the dance you're going to see, Ed, which is going to be interesting, is the Iranian media, especially the hardline media, they're going to talk a lot about what they get without talking about what they give. It's important for all of us to correct that record.
Correcting the record by confirming that the report is true. I mean, and listen, you spin it however you need. I don't care. All right. 300 billion around what we destroyed in the country. The bottom line is no sanctions, and you allow the money to flow, whether it's from America or a, mysterious bank in Switzerland. Who was laying that out yesterday on the show about these Swiss banks that Qatar controls, but doesn't really control and will transfer it? I don't give a shit which way you do it. All right. But the clear, honest truth is that when you lose a war, sometimes you got to pay the piper. And that's the truth. And the Israeli lobby in Washington is losing it over this. They should.
And I love it. I fucking love this.
Good. Guess what? Iran's entire GDP in 2024 was 456 billion. So this is 300 billion in reconstruction funds, in addition to sanctions relief, in addition to making to requiring like intra-Gulf investment and basically de facto normalization of all of these countries' relations with Iran. And on top,
no, those are not medical.
Top of that, for nuclear enrichment, that remains the biggest sticking point. And don't get me wrong, there's still going to be a ton of fights to be had in the interim 60 days. But to have that on the table for Iran, I understand now why they took the deal. But yeah, I mean, they demanded genuine, like they demanded full-on reparations. We all thought that was a joke. It's not. It's now been confirmed here by the vice president. But this is the reality.
Yeah.
This is the reality we have to grapple with. I'm fine with it. We should never have been here in the first place. Israel war lobby, you got what you deserve. I don't know what else to say.
And not only those one-time funds and the sanctions relief, obviously, but also an
last night we watched the Piers Morgan episode with all of the regular Israeli supporters. And holy shit, dude, they are panicking over this.
In perpetuity, or not a toll, but a fee to transit the Strait of Hormuz is what looks like is going to be contemplated here.
Good to see you.
You know, going back to the piece about Lebanon and Israel and how central this is, and these disputed characterizations of what is in the memo of understanding, et cetera. Amwaj Media says that they got their hands on the first page of the memo of understanding, and Ryan tweeted this out, paragraph 1 of the MOU, according to Amwaj Media.
First page, I thought it was one page.
As Iran and the U.S., quote, and their allies in the current war, obviously that would include Israel, declare the immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon, and undertake from now on not to initiate any war or any military operation against each other, to refrain from the threat or use of force against each other, and ensuring the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Lebanon. So perhaps that language is where there could be, I look at that and I say, okay, that means you have to withdraw from Lebanon. But perhaps the Israelis look at that and say, well, we can ensure the territorial integrity, but still keep our troops occupying on the ground in Lebanon. In any case, paragraph 1 is further described as elaborating how, quote, the final deal, the comprehensive agreement envisioned to be signed within 60 days of the initiation of talks on June 19th, will confirm the permanent termination of the war on all fronts, including in Lebanon, and other provisions of this paragraph. And, previously when the initial ceasefire...
Do you guys all right, I want your honest opinions on this. Do you think it makes it to Friday?
Fire, which led to
or do you think that Israel's going to tank this?
Decline in hostilities between, all of the various parties. Remember, there was that whole flack about, okay, was Lebanon included or not? The Iranians and then the Pakistanis confirmed no, Lebanon was in the deal and always contemplated. Iran has made it incredibly clear and has backed that up with attacks directly on Israel, which was a first, because they continue to attack within Lebanon. So this is truly, truly a key
not a
point.
First. I mean, he has called him a crazy bastard before.
Get to some of Netanyahu's comments here,
because what are you doing?
He is politically in a very difficult place domestically. He was very unpopular before October 7th. He has forestalled any sort of reckoning with how October 7th unfolded and what problems he may have created in the government that enabled the attacks on that day. He's got his major, corruption trial that keeps getting pushed off as long as he continues to fight new wars. He is facing significant opponents and may actually lose his slot as prime minister. Those supposedly more moderate opponents are all hitting him from the right on not being hardline enough with regard to Iran. And given where the public is in Israel, those attacks have some purchase within Israeli society. But in any case, putting him aside for a moment, the other dynamic here that's very interesting, Sagar, is that JD Vance has clearly been put out as the face of this deal. And I think he wants to be the face of this deal. He wants to sell it to the public. He wants to be associated with helping to bring this thing to a close. But it has also made it so that he has become really the target of attacks from neocons who are too scared to directly attack Trump, of course. And so, it's all, it's JD Vance's fault. Give me a break. We know in the negotiations in Islamabad, JD Vance was stripped of any authority. He kept having to call Trump, and reportedly Netanyahu as well, getting up from the table to chat, oh, what about this? What about that? Had very little authority. I mean, this comes directly from Trump because of course it does. You know, he is the one who has to, at the end of the day, say, yes, we're going forward with this deal. But they see him as too powerful a figure. They don't want to go directly against him. So instead, they're attacking JD Vance, which creates an interesting political
I was
dynamic.
just ranting to you this morning. These people are the most pathetic cowards. They spent 3 months telling us, oh, nobody controls Trump. He's uncontrollable. He's independent. And he's so wise. And he's the one who took us to war with Iran. And you are a disloyal, to attack him and to say he's controlled. Now, whenever it's time to be doing a deal after the disastrous war you motherfuckers dragged us into, now it's like, oh my God, he's controlled by his vice president. And no way, he's going on Megyn Kelly's show. What a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, they are such pathetic cowards.
And that now they want the deal to have to go through Congress.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whereas when going to war, Trump could do that on his own. But if we want peace, you got to have everybody sign off.
Outrage yesterday. John Thune has not been briefed on the memorandum of understanding.
Oh my God.
Oh, nobody briefed him on the decision to go to war. All right. So you don't know if we can go to war without you, then we can get into peace without you, bitch. I mean, I'm sorry. I apologize for getting so worked up about this, but it's like living in an alternative reality, where all of these people for 3 months have just been licking Trump's feet. And guess what? Whenever, Trump attacked Iran, it was very important. I mean, you can go back and look at the record that I blamed Trump. And when I went on Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly's show, when we were talking about the whole Israel, and I was like, no, guys, like, look, yes, Israel, this is Trump. So this time around, they can't do that because they're afraid. They're cowards and they want to retain some level of influence. Now they got to attack JD Vance. And by the way, the reason I'm spending so much time on this is Israel Lobby Playbook 101. They are the nastiest, most pathetic, they are the nastiest. They have no scruples. They will do anything to defeat this deal. Anything.
True.
And well, $300 billion, this is existential because, by the way, 5 years from now, who's going to have a larger GDP, Iran or Israel? Yes. Yeah. And if we have full-scale normalization of relations, who's going to be maybe more important to the United States? Maybe good relations with the country that controls the Straits of Hormuz and is exporting all this oil, or this little startup nation
is like, wait, are they trading us?
Nation which just can't stop bombing all of its neighbors and causing all kinds of
Israel is panicking, dude. I'm gonna just say it's fun.
Problems
it's fun to watch
basically
them fucking
on the
swerve.
United States. Which one of those two countries is going to be more important?
All of it.
They are going to do everything, and I mean everything. Do not put anything off the table.
Yeah,
I tweeted this yesterday. The closer we get to this deal, because they're still digesting. The closer we get to reality, the unhinged behavior. I put nothing off the table.
Because here's the thing is Israel, the way that they operate now and their entire conception is that we cannot allow any nation in our region to rival us, period. Yeah. And that's not, that nation doesn't even have to have direct animosity or be, saying that Israel's the great Satan or the little Satan or whatever. They just want to make sure that there cannot be even the theoretical possibility of any threat. But they are too small of a nation to be able to pull that off on their own. So they require dependence on the U.S. to back up that posture. And so if you have an Iran that is economically, strong, that has clearly demonstrated military capability and also geostrategic dominance in the region, that is an unacceptable state of affairs for Israel as they have currently postured themselves and the expectations that the entire population has. I mean, this is not some fringe view. This is like pretty much unanimously the view in Israel is that they have to make sure there is no even theoretical possibility of any nation that can threaten them. So
according to Iran, they didn't know about the MOU until moments away from them counterattacking.
If this deal goes through, they are going to have to almost like rebuild their entire self-conception. They're going to have to rebuild their entire approach to the region. I think that will create a much more stable region if you don't have this rogue superpower-backed nuclear-armed state that's constantly going around and bombing their neighbors with, absolute no accountability whatsoever for the crimes that they commit. But in that way, it is existential for Israel. It's existential in the way that Israel has been conducting themselves for years and years at this point. So that's why there's a freak out. Let's go ahead and put A2 up on the screen here. This is Netanyahu speaking to the nation. Again, remember, he is under very strong political pressure from the supposed moderates, although they, are not moderate in any real sense of the word, and have been pushing him from the right to be more hawkish, more aggressive. So what he says on Lebanon is we created a buffer zone, a security
I'm almost disappointed that they found out at all.
zone, and we will remain there as long as necessary. Iran wanted us to withdraw from there. That did not happen. Do you know why it did not happen? Among other reasons, because I stood very, very firmly. I was resolute on this matter. And I think our American friends respect that determination and that steadfastness. So he's saying we aren't withdrawing from Lebanon. We've created what he describes as a buffer zone, otherwise known as an illegal occupation, something the Israelis know quite a lot about. But he's signaling that he is not willing to withdraw from Lebanon. And so you've got, some good language coming from Trump saying, hey, Israel needs to be done here. Maybe Syria should get involved instead. I don't know what's going on with that one. But will Trump actually take the actions that are required to rein Israel in? That we've seen some tough words, allegedly from Biden in the past and on the record now from Trump in public currently. But is he going to be?
I'm saying it now. Like, it's kind of funny that Trump is going to be more hawkish on Iran just because he's sick of Netanyahu's bullshit.
Willing to actually cut them off, to actually say, well, no, we're not doing this. Because if he did that, it would be very simple to compel Israel to do what we want them to do. We have incredible leverage over them, but that's the part that we've never seen, either from Trump or certainly from Biden, is the willingness to take actions and not just rhetorically express some frustration.
This is where, look, if you're a betting man, which side would you do? I don't advocate bets. If it were on Kalshi, which way would you put your money? I can lay out
That's what I've been saying.
Trump seems very frustrated, desperately wants a deal. You've got JD out there. I haven't heard from Pete Hegseth or I won't give him one of the nicknames. Pete Hegseth.
We all call him Keg's Breath. I love it.
Or Marco Rubio in a while.
That one fucking took over. That idiot is going to be remembered as Keg's Breath forever.
These are good things. So people have been sidelined. Things can change literally at any moment. What needs to happen in the interim, and I hate doing this because I don't usually play the inside game, but right now, what needs to happen is that these Mark Levin type characters and others need to be branded as disloyal and anti-Trump. That's really what the internal game and all of that needs to play out.
Now, are they? Because the thing is, like, they already did this with Thomas Massey. Like, how many people are they going to, attack? That's more than half the GOP.
In addition, though, what you need to see is that Bibi has to continue to fight for his domestic political ends, which is increasingly going to put him directly at odds with Trump, because Trump reportedly is now very unpopular inside of Israel because the Israelis are furious that anybody would tell them no, for the first time in their lives. Now, again, if I were to bet, I would definitely not bet against them. I think the next 65 days genuinely will be insane. And on Lebanon, especially, for example, things could not be more clear. Let's put A6 here on the screen. Here you have the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson who says explicitly the Iranian claim that the Israeli strike on Beirut backfired and that Lebanon is explicitly referenced 3 times in the Memorandum of Understanding, including provisions, territorial sovereignty, territorial integrity, and ending the war. You just showed Bibi said, I'm not going to do that. And in fact, put A7 up here on the screen. Netanyahu has explicitly said, we will not just remain in Lebanon, we will remain in Gaza and Syria after the U.S.-Iran deal is signed.
Yeah.
I also love, everyone just implicitly sits and says, oh yeah, Israel currently occupies, as we remember, I covered at the time, they just annexed a part of Syria and nobody said a word here in Washington. They have de facto annexed Lebanon. Nobody says a word. But we do know, and this is where, look, maybe this is me living in a fantasy land. If we just pull aid from them, if we just do that, that all collapses in a day. They cannot defend themselves. Look at them. We have to shoot down all their missiles. I love reading the Israeli press. Front page, Haredim riot over draft. Their own people don't even want to fight. And it's like, look at them. They're actually a weak society, and especially whenever it comes to their ability to fight. Even in Lebanon, I mean, come on, the idea, this whole occupation and everything, the way that it has gone, it's been a disaster actually for the IDF. And the IDF general or chief of staff is the person saying that, not even me, who is arguing about, it's putting all this strain on the military. And then Gaza, we all know how they comported themselves there. If it weren't for bombs, I mean, come on, their ground forces did terribly, actually, whenever it came to fighting. So they cannot sustain any of this without the full force backing of the United States of America. But this is where I have to give the caution. Let's put A8 up here on the screen. I took very, very close notice of this, and I want to highlight it for everybody. The CIA director here, John Ratcliffe, quote, told Trump and other senior officials intelligence gathered by the U.S. raised serious doubts about Iran's willingness to make nuclear concessions as the U.S. is seeking a final deal. You are going to see perhaps the greatest deep state leak operation of all time. Maybe only similarly comparable to what happened when Obama tried to withdraw from Afghanistan back in 2009. But this, according, by the way, even to Barack Ravid, the CIA director Ratcliffe is here, quote, casting doubt as an intelligence analyst. You have Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, who are opposed to the deal. I would generally not bet against the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense here, who both, control vast resources, allies. They can create things and do things as they want. They have control of these intelligence agencies, of diplomatic memos, of cables. Remember, Rubio is also not just the Secretary of State, he's also the National Security Advisor. So he runs the policy shop out of the White House. They can very easily manipulate these things. They also have a vast leak apparatus from the New York Times and Barack Ravid and all of these others. Stenographers will write anything, right? And so you can give them whatever you need. All of this intelligence and other things will all be laundered through the neoconservative press and be used explicitly as a way to attack, and to shape the decision matrix so that every night on Fox News, it will be a drumbeat about how Trump is doing the wrong thing. Can he sustain that? Obviously, no. We watched what happened. And so that's my last caution is
that is kind of where he's probably going to fucking freak the fuck out, because the way that Israel has kind of controlled our media, like this really, guys, I'm saying it now, this is positioning Trump versus Israel. And you know what? Let them fight.
The 300, like the contours of the deal as of right now actually look like something that could work. But
I wish I had that drop right now from Godzilla.
Real. This is a full-on existential threat to Israel as we know it, and to their entire lobby here in Washington. And I would never bet against these people. The Ratcliffe thing, when I saw that, I was like, here we go. Like, this is day one. Now imagine day 35, like the New York Times stories about all the warnings from Hegseth. And by the way, they're all going to start being real honest now. For 100 days, we heard Iran's military has been decimated. Now you're all actually going to get the truth, because they're going to use it as a pretext for why we shouldn't do the deal. What we're going to get the real figures on the ballistic missiles. We're going to get, I just saw my first segment on Fox News yesterday. Actually, Iran's military hasn't been decimated. First time they've said it in 100 days, right? So you're actually going to get the truth about Iran's military and its ballistic missile program, and maybe even its nuclear enrichment and all. And listen, I don't care about any of that, but they're going to use it as a pretext. So I'm just setting the space that the next, 60 days, it's going to be wild.
Just like how we went from after the 12-day war, like, oh, their nuclear program's totally decimated, to, well, actually, no, it's not. And now we need to go to war to make sure that they can not produce a nuclear weapon.
Just wait. It's going to be
this entire administration is just essentially like,
okay, we have Trita Parsi standing by. Let's get to it.
Yeah, there we go. Also here, let's leave the already did. Cool. Already liked that one. This will be interesting to see where this goes, guys. Like, he's on point this time, I think. Yeah, I mean, Sagar occasionally does have like a good take here and there. I hate to say that, but it's true. It's kind of the same thing with Anna Krapsparian. Like, we occasionally get a decent take, especially when it comes to, Israel. So it turns out conscription doesn't produce the elite fighting force. Who knew? Yeah, well, they could have learned that just from Russia. Let's be real. If they needed a modern equivalent, Like they couldn't. Oh, no one could have seen that coming. It's crazy how he can have this analysis and also his entire conservative worldview. I think that a lot about some people. That just like they identify as conservative, and it's just like the idea of being a conservative is more important than actually looking at what they truly believe and what their, their policies or whatever. Their policies are. Sorry, I kind of like petered out halfway through because I'm like, you all know this. I mean, guys, how many times can you just say it? Or it's just like, yeah, they purposefully put the blinders on. True TDS when you really break it down. But it's all becoming just so passe to even say it now because it's passe hack. Let's just use it. It's fucking hack. I hate to say this, and this is gonna come off as a little mean, but like when the I've had it, crew starts saying some of that stuff, I'm just like, oh. Now it's reached hack status. Oh boy. Yeah, the cute nicknames. I don't know. Are you guys still into it? Because it's almost like the Cankles McTaco tits. They ran into the fucking ground. Like way to take that one and just ruin it. But whatever. Now I could just be a curmudgeon. I have been a little curmudgeonly lately. You guys know that. All right, what do we got? 10 minutes? We got 10 minutes until the end of the show. So it's not a 10-minute clip. That's not a 10-minute clip either. I guess we'll just chill. Wait a minute. I had a Jink segment. Where the hell did that go? Because he broke down, and I thought he did a pretty decent job of how this could go wrong. I think that's also where I kind of agreed and reiterated his points about how Israel is looking to purposefully tank this deal. I heard from someone Erica Kirk is looking to change her last name. Guess she won't be carrying the flag. Oh, whoa. Who said that? Wait, is that can't be real? No. That there's too much money tied to that. And also, do you understand what that would do to the brand? Like, nah, I don't believe that. Although I don't, if it's true what they're saying about her having a new boyfriend and that they're pretty serious, like, yeah, just gonna say that's a little shitty. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I try not to have an opinion on this one because realistic, like this goes back to like the whole people grieve differently, but like it is a fair criticism to be like, yeah, but I've never seen somebody grieve WWE style, that was a little wild, let's be honest, and anybody that says otherwise is being disingenuous. I'm gonna drop a guitar track to that. I know you mentioned that before. That would be fire, DJX. Also, what up, dude? Good to see you. How you doing, man? Everybody, go follow DJX if you guys are interested in seeing some awesome guitar. And also, he did an awesome little pomp and circumstance thing for my Macho Man bit. Yeah. Got the pomp and circumstance just right for the Macho Madness. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I do some impressions and some just wacky bits and things on my show. If you are not regulars there already, you should be. You should come and hang. We have a lot of fun over on my channel called at Pep Talks TV. Also at Pep Talks TV on Twitch. Shameless plugs. Although there's a little shame. I kind of felt it like right here. It was like right here. The shame was kind of stuck right here. What's that? Yeah. So it's not shameless. So it's a shameful plug. Oh, I got to plug my stuff. Go follow me on Twitter too. Seriously, follow me on Twitter, guys. I did that for you. I did. I hate it. I hate Twitter. I hate the fact that I catch myself perusing it and doing the thing where I'm just doom scrolling. I can't. I hate it. I avoided Twitter for so long, and then I started my channel. And then I hate to say it is actually kind of super useful for what I do. and what we do here as content creators. So if there's a content creator that you like that is on Twitter, do not hold it against them, because yes, we all admit that Twitter sucks. We would love if Blue Sky took off and then we had that, but realistically, Blue Sky, I mean, I like the interface on Blue Sky, but it's Blue Sky. And also holy crap, the way that Indivisible and the Blue No Matter Who crowd, woo, they took over. I have been seeing way more like pro Kamala stuff that like now. Like I was just on it yesterday. I was just like, wait, because I could have sworn that they were posting stuff from like the election. And I was just like, no, this is now. Oh boy, not looking forward to that. Although you can catch it over on my channel. More Perfect Union did a video with AOC. You guys need to see this, so I'll be playing that on my channel a little bit later. My show starts at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Alrighty. Yeah, cool. Got the plugs out of the way. Now we can just hang. We got 6 minutes, so what are we doing here, guys? How you doing? You know what? Who the heck is Pep Talks? Nobody asks how the heck is Pep Talks today. Now I feel like I have been ignored, and now you don't have my emotional well-being at the forefront of your minds. How dare you? Twitter is where a lot of independent journalists are. Yeah, that's why. That's actually how I found out about the Aaron Parnas and Taylor Lorenz situation. Why the heck is Pep Talks? Now that is a question for another day, and I will answer it. You're gonna make me go like full existential mode. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be covering the Aaron Parnas, Taylor Lorenz drama on my show. I think that will be the first thing we cover. If I don't, yap for 2 to 3 hours. Ask his dad. Yeah, no, don't ask my dad, because my dad will have actually. You know what? Yeah, for the comedy, he'll have a very funny answer for you. Guarantee it. My dad would literally probably just be like, you know what? He always has been a good swimmer. Not Pep Dad, dude. One of these days, you know what? I'm going to visit him, coming up here. I'm gonna ask him. It's like, hey, do you want to, like, I'm not gonna do it live. No way. But I'll film my dad and try and get him on cam, being himself. Because my dad is he's a trip. Actually, my sister's gonna be there. I just thought about this. I might have to bring my computer so I can stream with my sister. Dude, that's right. I forgot about that. Oh man. Okay, so what I could probably do is just like bring a laptop. We're not gonna really watch any clips or anything. I don't need like a full stream setup. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna try and get my dad and my sister on the show. That'll be fun. At least, as I said, I'll have some clips of my dad, because he's very unpredictable and not exactly what I'd call TOS friendly. And also, he has the ability to embarrass me to a degree that is damn near scary. So putting him on a live feed is playing with fire for me. This is parasocializing at its peak. Hey, as I said, I'm if you guys want a parasocial thing with a creator, then I'm the creator for you, because I share my life. Like, we live it once here. Might as well put it out there. Like, it was kind of funny. My dad kind of even was saying that, where he was just like, man, I think it's like, when he said it's cool what I do, like that's high praise coming from that guy. So, yeah, I don't know. I like what I do. I hope you guys also enjoy what I do here. And yeah, like I said, we have a project in the works for this space. It is going to change the game of this space. Like, we are finally figuring out how we're going to do this. and have some, fun along the way. Let's see. Can I also say, like, I've been wanting to do like a repeat of the game show that we had here, like the Jeopardy. So yeah, definitely keep watching for that. Also, when you guys see any of the syndicated content, please do me a favor personally. This is for me, and it'll make you guys a lot happier. Go to their channel and follow them. And make sure that you're subscribed and that you have liked their videos. If they have a recent video, try to leave a comment. You could even say for the algo. Like, I know that that's pretty popular out there in, YouTube land. So yeah, make sure that you guys are going out there and supporting your local creators. I would say smaller, but I also don't want to denigrate us. We're up and coming. There we go. You're up and coming creators. Like myself. And that's where I will just say thank you, Johnny, for putting that in the chat. Also, yes, we do have a GoFundMe in the chat that does help us a lot right now. My wife is currently recovering from cancer and surgery. So the good news is cancer for the moment is in remission. So yeah, we're just making some adjustments to everything. But you know what, guys? I truly do I love you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting this space. Thank you for supporting me as a creator. Yeah, don't mean to get all sappy on you guys, but I've been thinking about it a lot. So with that, guys, I hope you had fun this show. I did. And special show tomorrow. I have a guest coming on. It will be, I'm pretty sure, the first This Space debate. It's going to be on the Carmelo Anthony trial, and we're going to be discussing some Rashad Ritchie. So come and join us for Primetime Pepaganda tomorrow night, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Who the heck is Pep Talks?
I'm not gay, but I fantasize about Marco Rubio. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Let's eradicate the Kung Flu. I'm literally coming. Pep Talks. Pep Talks.
Who the heck is Pep Talk?
They want our women. They want our children.
Pep Talk.
Sometimes no means yes. Grab them by the Pep Talk. Grab them by the Marco Rubio. Obama is a racist.
Pep Talk.
I'm literally coming. I'm literally coming.
Pep Talks.
We found weapons of mass destruction. My fellow Americans, it has been confirmed today from Pep Talks that we are indeed all high on politics.